Okay, Demian, 48 hours out from your fight, how do you feel?
Feeling good. Of course, it's something new for me, this fight, but I'm kind of excited with the challenge, and I'm very excited also to be fighting in Asia, in Singapore for the first time in my life. I fought in Japan jiu-jitsu many years ago in 2003, but that's the really first time that I fight in MMA in Asia.
Were you surprised when Ben Askren respectfully asked for a fight?
No, I was not surprised. I think, he's a great athlete. He likes challenge, and I also like challenge. So that was a fight that a lot of fans want to see because it's an interesting matchup, and it's hard to predict the outcome. Even for me, it's hard. For him, it's hard, and for the fans. So, the fights that are hard to predict, and you don't know what's going to happen. Those are the fights that everybody want to see.
So a lot of people think the way to unlock a great wrestler is a great jiu-jitsu artist who's very comfortable off his back. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you were easily one of the best jiu-jitsu practitioners in the game. Mm-hmm. So when Ben did call you out, was that did you look at it as a different challenge for you?
Yeah, it was very different because all the fights of my career, everybody just tried to avoid my game. And everybody knows when I go to fight, everybody knows that I'm going to seek for clinch takedowns or pull guard or wherever, and fight my style. And on the other hand, all my opponents, they always looking for sprawl, avoid, run away, punch me, striking, avoid the clinch. And with him, for sure, it's different. So it's the first time in my career that I have this kind of challenge.
Right, and obviously Askren is known for his smothering top control, his wrestling heavy game. How do you see the fight playing out this Saturday?
Well, in my mind, I see, a good submission, and doesn't matter if I'm on top or on bottom. But like you said, he's great in control, and not just that, he has jiu-jitsu skills, he has submission, he's not just a wrestling. Right. For sure, he's been training jiu-jitsu for many years, and he has skill in jiu-jitsu also.
And in your previous fights, you also displayed that you're very comfortable striking on your feet as well. Do you think that could probably make a difference in this fight?
It's hard to say because, his way that he approaches the fight is a way that I like to approach with, clinching, all the way, all the time. So it's hard to know how much striking we're going to be able to do because of both styles of the fighters.
You and Ben have been great ambassadors of your respective sports, and here in Southeast Asia, the sport has grown a lot. How proud are you to see the changes from the time you said before that you went here in Asia, and now that you'll be headlining this card together with Ben and to show up a good fight?
Yeah, I always saw Asia as, of course, one of the main influences in martial arts for all around the world. So not just Japan, China, but also Southeastern Asia. And I always felt the respect here is different than other countries. People really respect martial arts, and they respect the fighters in a different way. I think in Asia, the fans, they see us as a martial artist, not just as an athlete, and so the respect is different. That's something that I felt in Japan back in 2003, many years ago, and I was fighting jiu-jitsu there, but I also they took us to watch Pride at that time, when Minotauro fought Krokop, and Vanderlei fought Quinton, and the other guy, the Yoshida, I think, yeah. And for me, it was amazing how you could hear the people, giving instructions, and the crowd, likes to watch and applaud the nice techniques. It's different than other place. I don't know here in Singapore, in this part how it will be, but I'm sure, the fans are very respectful for the martial artists, and that's very nice for me.
I would like also to add before, when people here want to train jiu-jitsu, they need to fly like to the US or to Brazil just to train and compete. Now we have competitions here and there, and most recently in the coming months, the first jiu-jitsu event will be having in the Southeast Asian Games. So
Nice.
how do you look forward to that, and how do you see the continuous growth of the sport here?
Yeah, for me, that's nowadays is my main mission. Is my main thing is to help with this growth of our martial arts, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and it's great for me to come in places like Southeast Asia and see how BJJ is growing so much and around the world. And I think for me it's a great martial art, it's a great sport, and which that really change people that start to train, and their life to better. And so it's great to be able to be part of this process, and it's great to hear something like that, that Jiu-Jitsu will be in the games here, and I feel that I'm a little part of this process also, using the platform of the UFC to promote that.
Talking about BJJ royalties, did you happen to catch Kron Gracie's recent fight against Cub Swanson?
Yes, I do. Not all the fight. I watch a little bit. Yeah, that's it. I watched just a few parts of the fight. I didn't really watch the fight yet. After my fight, I will watch.
What was your impression, from whatever you've seen?
I need to watch the full fight, of course. But it's a tough sport. It's really tough. It's like everybody trains everything now. Everybody's very efficient in jiu-jitsu, in wrestling, in striking, and it's very hard to adapt your style into the game. And I want to see the fight, but Kron is a great jiu-jitsu fighter, and if he has the right instruction to adapt well his boxing and footwork into the clinch, into jiu-jitsu world, I think he will do great. And I want to watch the fight, then I can comment more.
Okay, I don't know if you know this or not, but there was an interesting stat earlier today which said you are the only welterweight who has been in the top 10 rankings since UFC first introduced the rankings in February 2013 in the welterweight division. So what do you kind of attribute this continuous success of yours to?
I think, consistency in my life. I think I always be consistent with my training, with my habits. I always try to improve my habits, my training, my mindset, is my learning. It's a working process every day. And pretty much I don't give up. I remember once Robert Drasday, a friend of mine that I brought to train with us back in the day in Brazil, when I met him first, he has as a purple belt. And he ended up later being like ADCC world, open weight champion. And Robert said, one nice thing about you, Demian, that impressed me is like, sometimes you lose, but you always come back. So I did that when I lost to Jacaré, in the final of ADCC 2005, and then 3 months later I won against him in the final of the World Cup in Brazil. And the same ADCC was my dream. I lost to Jacaré at the final of 2005, and the final of 2007 I won the ADCC. So he said, this mindset, is something that I admire about you, and I never thought about, and I'm kind of, Edu, como se fala teimoso mesmo? Stubborn, I keep going. Not just doing the same, but trying to find ways, different ways to do, and better ways. So I think, with consistency over the years and years, you can, keep stay between the best.
Right, and what we've seen in the welterweight division over the years, from people like John Hendricks to Robbie Lawless, the strikers, wrestlers, and then to Taran Uli and now Kamaru Usman, there has been a constant change. Right? So one win or two big wins in the welterweight division, because your last 3 losses came against former champion, current champion, and the number 1 challenger, number 1 contender.
And former, como se fala? Interim champion.
Interim champion. So, do you see with a big win over Ben Askren and probably one more fight, you would, because you always said you want to fight for the title?
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. But of course, that's not my focus right now. But it would be great for sure. Would be great. And what I say is that it's not my focus. Doesn't mean that I don't really want that. But that means that it's something that is not on my hands, to decide. Who picks, you're gonna fight for the title, you're not. So last time I need 7 fights in a row to fight for the title. Some people they need 3, some people maybe now I need 4, So depends on other people's decisions. So that's why I cannot keep focus on that. I need to focus on evolving and get the best that I can for the next fight, and then things will happen. I believe.
And do you have a message for the fans who might want to turn up on Saturday? What can they expect in your main event with Ben Askren?
I think the nicest thing for the fans is it's hard to expect anything. It's hard to see what's going to happen in this fight. I don't know what to expect. He doesn't know what to expect, and the fans doesn't know what to expect. It's a very intriguing fight, and that's what makes this fight so interesting, because that's so intriguing that people just will figure out, even me and Ben, during the fight night.
Do you see any weaknesses in Ben as when they plan on sporting?
Yeah, like every fighter, he has, some weaknesses, and I've been working on that, but I have not too much to say about that, because it's the things that I want to keep secret.
Okay, and you're going to be 42 years old in a couple more days. How long more do you see yourself in the fight industry?
A couple weeks. How long more?
Do you see yourself in the fight industry?
The fight?
Yeah.
So after this fight, we just redid the contract for 3 fights, so this one and 2 more, and this is pretty much where I went when I end up my career. I think when we resign for the 3 fights, that was my goal, to do these 3 fights as best as I can and finish my career, because I have other plans and other projects that I want to do, and of course it's impossible to keep being top 10 and high level in the UFC and doing other things properly. And the same dedication that I put into fighting, I want to put into the other projects that I want to do after I retire as a professional athlete.
Thank you.